Meet the ThorBolt X1 Smart Deadbolt, the future of keyless entry. Unlock your door with just a tap using Apple Home Key on your iPhone or Apple Watch, or use your fingerprint keypad, Siri, or even the app. It's built for Apple HomeKit and runs over Thread for faster, more reliable control. Manage up to 50 users, store 100 passcodes, and stay secure with auto lock and real-time monitoring. Plus, it's IP65 weather resistant and runs on AA batteries, no wires, no worries. For homeowners, Airbnb hosts, or just the security obsessed, the X1 isn't just smart, it's genius. I'm really excited to try out the X1 Smart Lock because it's packed with so many features. First of all, it works with Apple HomeKit, works over Thread, along with all the standard options like keypad, physical key, fingerprint. But there's one more thing that goes on top of all of that, and that is Apple Home Key. So that means you can basically put a key to this lock on your iPhone or your Apple Watch and unlock it with just a simple tap, just like if you're using Apple Pay. And come on, that's just so convenient, and you can share keys easily. So now let's get inside the box and see what we got, including a user manual, a stencil in case you need to cut holes in your door, the metal backplate, a plastic housing, 2 metal keys, all the screws you need for installation, a strike plate, the deadbolt, the interior assembly, as well as the exterior assembly. Now, taking a quick look at the interior assembly, it is made out of plastic, and we do have a nice matte black finish along with some matte silver for the turning lock. Over here on the inside, we can see some of the internals, and this is where you're gonna actually connect the exterior assembly so everything can have power. Because the batteries actually go right in here, simply slide that off and it takes 4 AA batteries. So as you can see, it's very easy to replace the batteries when they start running low. And of course, we do have a nice rubber border here to keep moisture outside. Now, taking a look at the exterior assembly, it is made out of metal, and we also do have that rubber ring going around to keep out the weather. Over on the front, this is where things get interesting. Up top, we have the NFC terminal, so you can either tap your Apple Watch or your iPhone here with your home key to unlock the door, which is very cool. Then right here underneath on this big area right here, with a simple tap, it'll actually light up the keypad so you can type in the secret code to get inside the door. Down here on the bottom, we do have a nice LED ring light here that'll light up red or green depending on if the door unlocks with your fingerprint or not. Then right above that, we do have this little spot here, and you simply press the left side just like so. It pops open, and here we are greeted with the USB Type-C port in case the batteries happen to die and your lock die. You can plug a power bank in for power, along with a rubber cover that covers up the metal keyhole. Now, it is kind of weird that there's a rubber cover over the keyhole, but not over the USB-C port. I feel like they should have put it over both, but maybe it's not an issue once it's closed. And then of course over here on the back, we have all the stuff that's gonna connect to the interior assembly, including the power cable that's gonna just plug right in like a Lego piece. So looking at the ThorBolt X1 Smart Lock, it looks like it's gonna be extremely simple to install, just as expected. So without further ado, let's get this thing installed. So now it's time to get the ThorBolt installed, and as you can see, it's gonna be an extremely simple process because I already have the hole ready to go because I'm just replacing my old lock. It should really take maybe 5 minutes. And in order to complete this task, we simply need a standard Phillips head screwdriver. We're gonna get the door open, and what we're gonna start off with is the deadbolt. We're gonna simply feed it through the hole, just like so. You wanna make sure that the hole is centered in the middle of the door. We're gonna take 2 of these short screws and screw them in nice and tight, just like so. Next, we're gonna take our exterior assembly. We're gonna make sure this metal rod is flat with the little bump sticking upward. We're gonna take the wire and this rod and feed it through the hole. The wire's gonna go underneath, and the rod's gonna go straight through the middle, pushing everything through just like so. And this is what it'll look like from the outside. Next, we're gonna take our metal backplate, make sure it's facing upward. The part that's popping out is gonna go inside the hole. Making sure to feed the wire through this big square and the rod through the middle hole. We're gonna grab 2 of these long silver screws, make sure everything's lined up, and feed them through the hole. And of course, we're gonna take our Phillips head and screw it nice and tight. Of course, before you fully tighten it, you wanna make sure everything is nice and straight so you won't be annoyed if it's a little crooked. Next up, we're gonna grab our interior assembly and make sure the locking mechanism is vertical. And to be perfectly sure, this is what this back part's gonna look like. So what we're gonna do is actually attach this wire to this little spot here. It only goes in one way, so don't try to force it. Just like so, you'll hear a little click. And then of course, we're gonna line everything up, feed the wire inside so it doesn't get pinched, just like so. Now we need to remove the battery cover. Take 2 of these long black screws and screw them in the hole to make sure everything gets attached correctly. And just like so. And of course, make sure everything is nice and secure. And finally, we're gonna install 8 AA batteries and place the cover back on. And now, as you can see, we have a fully installed smart door lock in less than 5 minutes. And of course, before we go any further, we're gonna make sure that the deadbolt works as expected. And now that we got everything installed in just about 5 minutes, let's get it set up with the app to make it smart. So in order to do that, we're gonna download the Sleekpoint app from the App Store and open it up. We're gonna tap on the big plus sign on the bottom left. We're gonna look for ThorBolt X1 right there in the middle. And now we're gonna get ready to add the device. So it looks like we're gonna have to hold down the reset button for about 5 seconds. It's of course right here under the battery compartment. And there we go, we heard the long beep, so now it's reset. So now we can tap on confirm, and now we need to scan the QR code that's on the back of the lock. All right, instantly found, add to home, and now we can choose the lock location. I'm gonna just put entrance, continue, and I can change the name as well. I'm gonna just call it front door, continue, and now the home key is ready for my home, available in wallet and can be used to unlock the doors in this home. Really? Just like that? So we can turn on tap to unlock by bringing your iPhone near the lock. So I'll turn that on, of course. You can also have it require Face ID or a passcode. And now we have access codes. So residents and guests of the home can unlock the door by entering an access code on the keypad. The door lock just beeped and now it's added to my home. So now we can tap on front door and we can see that it's currently unlocked with a simple tap. It'll lock the door with a simple tap. It'll unlock the door. Very cool. Now it said I could already use my iPhone to unlock the door, so let's actually try it out and see if it works. So just tap it. That's amazing. I didn't have to open up the key or anything. It just automatically opened it, lit up the light, and that's amazing. I love that. That's so simple. I thought I would have to pop up the key just like an Apple Pay card, but I guess not. So now back inside of the app, we could take a look at lock activity so we can see when the door was locked, unlocked, when somebody tried to get in but couldn't get in, or when they entered the passcodes. So as you can see, we see the app locked it, the app unlocked it, the app locked it, the home key unlocked it, and then it automatically locked itself afterwards. So very cool. Now up here on the top right, we have a gear icon. If we tap on that, we can see all the different settings, including the name, the way the lock's gonna go, the auto lock, so you can actually have it auto lock or not auto lock. I like to have auto lock on so I don't have to remember to lock the door, and you can set the timer for as long as you want, up to 3 minutes and all the way down to 5 seconds. I like 10 seconds, so it gives you enough time to do everything. We also do have lockdown mode, so by default, the keypad will be temporarily disabled after 10 failed attempts during the first 10 minutes, and no more than 20 attempts in an hour, so if somebody tries to brute force their way in, it won't work. And you can also adjust it to your liking. We have keypad sensitivity, low, medium, or high. We have the keypad timeout for how long for the keypad to stop illuminating. We have the anti-peep passcode, which is cool because, for example, if your code is 1234, you can type in a bunch of random numbers before that and after it so nobody can look over your shoulder and know what your code actually is. We can go to power and we see Apple Home Key Sensing, which is great, keypad and fingerprint sensor. Of course, you can save battery power by turning off some of these. We have feedback sound, so if you want the lock to beep when stuff happens, you can have that on, or if you want it to be completely quiet, you can turn it off. We can also choose to have it sync to the time zone, so that way the log will always be at the correct time. Then we can see the model, connectivity, and firmware. Now back on the home screen, we do have 3 icons on the top right. We have auto locking enabled, Bluetooth is connected, as well as the battery percentage that we have left. Then all the way down here on the bottom right, we can go to manage access, and this is where you can add different people. So I'm gonna add myself, I guess just put home, and choose how many times you want to be able to unlock the door. So for example, you can have it be used one time. If you have somebody coming over just to do something one time, you don't want them to have access all the time. You can have it limited, so it'll only work at certain days and certain times, or you can just have it unlimited. So I'm gonna be unlimited, and I'm gonna enter my passcode, tap on next. We heard a beep, so that means the passcode is enabled, and now I can add my fingerprint as well. So I'll put right thumb, start, and now we're supposed to do 6 times, and it gives you a little grid on how you should do it. Get all the angles. After 6, we get that long beep, and we are added successfully. So now I should be able to use my fingerprint to unlock the door. Very nice. And of course, if I try to use a finger that's not registered, it lights up red and beeps, and it does not unlock. But if I use my good finger, it'll unlock the door. Then of course we do have the keypad unlock, so we simply touch the display, it lights up, very responsive, and it unlocks the door. That was actually so responsive, there was no delay in tapping, everything was perfect. We can also press this button to lock it. Of course, if we go inside the Apple Home app, we can see the front door, we can open it up and we can unlock the door and lock the door with a simple flick. Down on the bottom right, we do have a gear icon, so we have different settings. We can see the battery level, what room it's in. We could add it to our home view, manage access, as well as have scenes. So when you leave your house, it'll automatically lock, and when you arrive home, it'll automatically unlock. So that's very convenient. So like I was telling you, we have the anti-peeping function of this lock. We We can wake it up, type in a bunch of random numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, more random numbers, unlock, and the door will still unlock, but nobody knows what your code is. And now if we come back into the lock activity, since we played with it for a while, you can see we have fingerprint unlocked by Rodrick. It'll let you know exactly when somebody unlocked it and who that person was. But still, my favorite way of unlocking this is either with my iPhone or even my Apple Watch. Just like that. Can you believe it? That's so amazing. So as you can see, getting the ThorBolt X1 installed and set up was a very simple and seamless process. Took less than 5 minutes to physically install it and took less than 5 minutes to get it set up with the app. I really like how well it integrates with Apple HomeKit, so I can use my Apple Watch and my iPhone or my fingerprint or my code or a physical key, however I want to unlock it, whenever I want to unlock it. But come on, just doing this. That's just so easy. That's amazing. The quality is great. It looks very elegant. It's so easy to use. This flap pops open with ease and closes. And as a matter of fact, I should probably try this out. Got the metal key here, pop open the flap, stick in the key, unlock it, we're ready to go. Just like that. It's another quality ThorBolt lock that looks great, works amazingly, and was extremely simple and user-friendly to set up.